My name is Chris Campbell. I'm a practicing CPA, and I work with small businesses and individuals to help them pay the least amount of taxes possible while keeping them out of jail. So today I wanted to talk about 1099 error. There are a number of different 1099s that one may receive. If you are an independent contractor or a consultant and you get paid by your clients, you receive, and usually at the end of the year, from your clients that indicate how much that they've paid you. So that's one version of the 1099. There's another 1099 for retirement account distribution. So if you have an IRA or a pension, 401k, when you cash it out, it's retirement account distribution. So that's a 1099-R. But at the end of the day, if you receive a 1099, it indicates income that you've received in some fashion, and you have to report it accordingly. So the flip side of that is, as an employer or an administrator, fund administrator, retirement account administrator, you have to issue the 1099s to the respective folks. So what I've ran into a couple times, and I figured I'd share this, is I've had clients that have received 1099s in error. Either they weren't supposed to receive it, or the amounts that they received weren't correct. So I wanted to talk about how it should be handled on both sides. If you receive one and you shouldn't receive one, here's how you look to handle it. And if you issued one as a business owner, what you need to do to correct it. So from the business owner side, if you issue a 1099 and you find out that you've done it in error, there's two remedies that you can do, and it really depends upon how far you've gone in the process of issuing that erroneous 1099. You need to not only send those individuals or entities 1099s, you also need to file them with the IRS. If you have not filed the forms with the IRS, but you issue them to the individuals or entities, then what you need to do to correct it is you just need to issue another 1099 to those individuals. There's a checkbox if you look at the very top of the form, avoid checkbox and a corrected checkbox. If the amount needs to be corrected, then correct the amount and then check corrected. Now, let's say you weren't supposed to send them it at all, then you would just simply check the void box and send it to them. Being that you had not sent anything into the IRS, if it is voided, then you don't need to send anything to them. If it is corrected, then send the corrected to that individual. But then when you actually file with the IRS, being that you had not done so already, you don't need to mark corrected for that one. So now, you did go ahead and file the incorrect forms with the IRS, then you need to create a corrected form, and you need to refile that with the IRS. And if you weren't supposed to issue it at all, then issue with a correction and put 0, so that the IRS knows that the amount was 0, only because you don't want that person to get jammed up by not correcting it, because then they're going to look for the income from that individual. Create a lot of problems. So if you filed it with the IRS, just make sure that you go ahead and not only send the correction to the individual, you need to make sure you do it with the IRS. Now, if you're on the receiving end of this, just make sure that you receive a corrected copy. I had a client where they received a 1099 that they weren't supposed to receive at all, and they were being told they did not need to receive anything for the correction. Which is false, because you need some sort of verification to know that this form was issued in error. And also just you wanted to provide protection against you with the IRS, because if there's a 1099 that they're expecting income on and you weren't supposed to get it, you get audited and they say, where are your tax forms, and you don't have them. The quick and dirty point there is just make sure that if something was issued to you in error, make sure you receive an additional tax form indicating the correction. So that's all for now. So if you have any questions on this topic or any other tax, accounting, business related topics, feel free to reach out. Happy to help. We'll talk to you in the next one.